Hello, reloading world. Fasty Fauci here. It's been a while since I dropped one of these videos for you guys. Missed the attention and the feedback, but I've been quite busy lately. Actually, was moved into a better place. Have a little bit more privacy now. I have my own little lab, if you want to call it. But today I'm here to talk about something real awesome that I've discovered in my search for new and exciting things in the world of firearms and rifles. And it this time has to do a lot with this new guy right here. 6.5 Creedmoor. What is a 6.5 Creedmoor? Whoa, a lot of people say, well, what is that? I never heard of that. Well, it's basically a .264 caliber bullet, 140 grain, full metal jacket bolt tail, 6.5 millimeters. I mean, this thing here is a cartridge that's specifically designed for target shooting. I mean, precision shooting, not about sniping and things like that. Yeah, that's all great and done, but I'm never going to become a sniper. But I really want to know whether those real accurate shots that they do, like in Hollywood and whatnot, like you see on TV, is that really possible? How do the snipers do it? How do competition people do it? Boy, we have a lot of things to cover, but this is not about that. This is about the 6.5 Creedmoor and what is it that I do in order to make these rounds. Like all my own loading videos, I don't take any responsibility whatsoever if you blow yourself up and you don't know what you're doing. I am assuming you know something about reloading. And basically, what is it that, what do I shoot this from? Well, let me show you. Say hello to the Ruger Precision Rifle. That's right. This is the Ruger Precision Rifle in 6.5 Creedmoor. This bad boy here is one of the highest recommended rifles for beginners to do long distance shooting. There are some people out there that said that if you put some right glass on this thing and you're just as effective as $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 rifles out there. You put good glass on it. I don't know whether that to be true or not, but I've been to the range with it, and let me tell you, for being the first time at the range and shooting a long distance, I think the Ruger might have a winning formula here, particularly with the Gen 2 of this particular rifle. I know the first generations had some issues with the 20 MOA rail and the alignment of the barrel, but the Gen 2 did away with that. For what I understand, and when I went to the range and proved out my loads, proved out my ballistic calculator with the formulas and my clicks here and whatnot, I didn't miss the shot up until 800 yards. And why I missed 800 yards? Because the wind started to pick up, so I didn't make any windage adjustment. So once I put that data into the ballistic calculator, I was able to make my shot at 800 yards. So exciting times. This is the Ruger Precision Rifle in 6.5 Creedmoor. They say a little bit hard to come by. I understand the Ruger is making them. Just shop it around. Davidson, Gun Genie. You're going to get it there. Please don't go on Gun Broker and pay $1,600 for it. That's ridiculous. Just, there are other models out there. Savage makes one also for about $1,000 called the Stealth 10A. You can pick one of those just as good as this too. But Ruger, they tend to have a little bit better quality and a better, for what I understand, warranty. So enough of this. Let's get to the reloading of the 6.5 Creedmoor. Alright, let's begin. Okay guys, so here we are. Let's load up some 6.5 Creedmoor. Alright, so first off, I'm going to give you exactly what is it that I use. A composition book. Yes, I learned the hard way, stuff the stickers on the composition book. Write all your cook formulas. I got this one at my daughter's VPK. I said, oh, can I have a yellow composition? I just love it. So, let's get down. What powder do I use? Well, the IMR 4350, slow burning. My interest is making a precise bullet. That would mean that you don't want a really fast burning powder. You want a slow burning powder to build up the pressure. A lot of folks, they like a little bit faster. And they, I go up to 41.5. That's my starting formula. 41.5 is the only one because that's the one that I have proven that works at 800 yards for me. So this is for me. This is building something that I'm, that actually worked for me. And this is the powder that I use. I'm on 4350. A lot of folks like it. A lot of folks don't like it. It says it's very temperature, sensitive. For me, that's a good thing because in Florida it's always hot. So if I wanted to have a little bit more burn, I just put the bullet out in the sun a little longer. Get it up there to get a little bit more pressure. I really don't need that, but it's just good for me to have that option. If you're cold weather, you might want to rethink something else. They said the Hachdon, the 4350, their version is more temperature resilient or whatever the resistance. But this is what I found. This is what actually works for me. About 22 bucks. You get about 160, 165 rounds at 41.5. That's the powder. Okay, now the bullet. I am using Hornady ELD-MATCH. 140 grains ELD. .264 caliber. There's a lot of different 6.5 Creedmoor bullets that you can use for hunting, high speed, I wanted one that was going to give me the best performance when it comes to precision. The ELD-MATCH is that bullet because it's bow tail and it has a really, really good G7 coefficient after G rating. It's actually from G1 to G7. The G7 is like, if you have data and it's G7, the bullet coefficient, that's the data you want to use. That makes this bullet extremely, accurate. And this has that. They have it in 140 and 143 grain, Hornady. There may be others, Lapua, but Hornady, I like Hornady. It's just price point is okay. It's a little expensive though. It's what I could find too. So, and I keep saying that, but unfortunately, that's the truth. Particularly with things the way they're going, right? Get your stuff now, by the way. So ELD-MATCH. They do also have an ELD-X. Now the X doesn't mean that it's extra special. No, it's not that it's extra special. No. X means, according to Hornady, extra expansion. So if you're a hunter, right, and you don't want over penetration, you just want stopping power, right, where you want to use this bullet, the ELD-X, right, and have it nice and mushroom inside the cavity of your whatever you're exterminating or bringing home for dinner, then you want to use the ELD-MATCH X, ELD-X. I'm shooting metal targets at 500 yards plus 800 yards, right? I use the ELD-MATCH. This is what I recommend that actually works for my formula of making a precision load. Using that IMR 4350 powder. Brass. This nice shiny brass. Just cleaned it. It's been fired once. It is Hornady. There are other manufacturers out there that make them. Hornady, it's expensive. This Lapua, there's some other ones, but Hornady, they're all expensive, in particular in this caliber. My load is right at where it should be. I know some shooters that actually push it and destroy these after a couple of. With this, you can probably, with my load, you could probably do 5-7 times recycle them before you need to. You start seeing cracking and degradation on the neck. But other than that, the Hornady is what I found. If you reload, you're going to be saving approximately 50% of what it costs to make 50 bullets. You buy 50 bullets, brand new, and you buy brass brand new, you're going to spend more. But when you reload the second time around, you're saving 50%, which is a really good thing because it's expensive. It's Creedmoor bullets are expensive. So the other thing that's very important is the primer. Here it is. The primer that I use is CCI, Large Rifle BR2. Yes, bench rest primers. Now, a lot of folks say, well, bench rest primers is for bench rest, or you're using it for prone position, whatever. I'm using these primers because first-hand instance from speaking with the reps from CCI is that the ignition that these things have is very controlled and very precise. Even the pattern in which it ignites, it's controlled. And that's what you're looking for, particularly when you're using a bullet that's a bolt tail like the ELD-MATCH. A really controlled, precise ignition helps in improving the accuracy of the bullet. CCI Large Rifle Primers BR2 is what I use. A lot of people will say, yeah, you could use those too. Some people use some Magnum primers, to get the bullet, at higher speed. That's all great, but And again, I'm not looking for that. I'm just looking to try to make a really decent 6.5 Creedmoor bullet that is precise at 800 yards or plus and whatnot. And I accomplished that. And this is what I use, is the BR2 primer. So, as you already may be aware, I'm using even though I do have the progressive side, I also have the turret. These are a combination of different what do you call dyes, right? This one is from Lee, actually. This is the decapper and forming dye. Really cool. Actually works really well. This one over here, this one is from Hornady. And this one, what it does is that it fixes the neck, right? If the neck is expanded, you run it through here. It also decaps too, but actually, when you push it in, what it will do is that it will help you resize that neck and get it back into conformity. If your brass is not annealed, this gets soft over time. This makes sure that at least it chambers correctly. So, bullet seating die, very important. Specifications is 2.8. I found my sweet spot at 2.805. That's what I had to dial down to. Now there are others out there that are even more precise, $100 for one die, which is down to the millimeter. You know what I mean? To like the 6th place and whatnot. I didn't want to go that level. I just wanted one that can go, 2.85, and I got 2.805. That's the sweet spot. It works really great, and that's where I have it, right? And the controversial die, the crimp die. Why would you want to crimp? I crimp all of my loads. Well, depending, not all. Right? Particularly the ones that I know that are a little expensive, I crimp. Just to hold the bullet in place like the 50 cal. But why would I want to crimp this? Well, the reason why I want to crimp this is that I want to get the maximum accuracy that I can get. I am currently chamfer and deburring this bullet, right? And I want to make sure that when the bullet is seated in there, that I have a little extra layer, right, of conformity. And I want to make sure that there's equal pressure all around the case when it touches the surface of the bullet. That will do is that will make it equal pressure at the time of ignition to push the bullet out. That improves accuracy. A lot of folks said you don't need to do that with this type of bullet. I don't super crimp it at all. I do a very light crimp just to make sure that I close this enough. That's basically it. You can crimp or not crimp, that's up to you. I like to crimp. You drop one of these head first, the bullet's going to go in. If it has a little crimp, the likelihood of going in is maybe minimal. And believe me, the bullet height can really ruin your entire day, because if you have a batch of them that are not in at the right height, or they're a little twisted or whatever, and you adjust for that, and when you come back and you forget, you're going to be all over the place. I like to crimp, and it actually did work for me because I was making clean shots up to 800 yards. And it was a beautiful thing. It was a glorious day at the range. So let me go ahead and put this back. All right. The pocket. I like to use a bench drill press. Other people use something else. The bench drill press, I just put this little thing in there. Do it, Harbor Freight, $60. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean it manually. Make sure it's nice and clean. Remove all that carbon from in there. Get it nice and shiny. Right? This also helps with the detonation. Every single little thing, there you go, makes it for really good shooting. Then a chamfer and deburr. This right here, what it does is that it removes any impurities, imperfections that it has actually at the rim, on the outside of the rim, which is pretty cool. And when it crimps, it makes it even more precise. Alright, that makes it so. What I do is that I like to feel it with my fingers, and if I don't feel it like any lip protruding from it, it's just nice and smooth to the end, that's where I stop. Okay, and now we do the inside. The inside, it also helps with the seating and of the bullet, right? And it just equalizes the wall of the casing against the bullet case, and that's what I do for a couple of times. And there we go. We're ready. I see a nice little ring in the inner portion of the case, and a nice little smooth ring at the outer portion of the case. Okay, so here I am going to go ahead and let me move the camera over a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and just put in, by the way, I already formed these, so go ahead and just put the primer in so that you can see. And here we go. By the way, these primers, because they're BR2, they go in nice, effortlessly, without a problem. They also have a little B on it. If you look at it under a microscope, not microscope, but it's a magnifying glass, which is really cool. It's like they're giving them, like their personal engraving or approval. You got these nice primers with a little letter on it, B. I say a little letter on it for B because it means it's badass. So, let's get some powder in here. And as you can see, I am still using the Lee accurate, deadly, dependable, auto reloader there. With this particular powder, sometimes it does over, So what I do is that sometimes you just have to calibrate it. My target load is exactly 41.5, so I'm going to go ahead and dispense that right now. Let me zero that out. Well, actually, it started already. Oh, even better. And that's going to give me 41.5. 41.6, 47. See, it overdid it. So, once it gets going and gets warmed up, you'll do a lot better. I just put that in there, and let's just hit enter and zero again. Zero that out. There we go. Let it start. It should pick it up now. And this is where it comes to the accuracy. I load 41.5 all the time. All the time. There you go. 41.5. Woohoo! Little funnel over here. Make sure it's in there. Take it in. It's all in. Terrific! That's going to start up with another load automatically. That's okay. So now, I got one with the powder. Right, and I go to the cedar dot. Now, I normally fill all this up over here with bullets, right? And then I go in there, but since I'm only doing one, I'm just going to go ahead and show you the whole process. And I'm grabbing a bullet right now, and here it is, right? That's how, look at the bolt tail on the end. Isn't that amazing? This is a well-built bullet, so go up here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and... Now a lot of folks say, yeah, you're done. You just made one. Beautiful. Not exactly. For me, it becomes full circle when I crimp it. It's just me. And I like to do that because I also want to build a little bit more pressure inside the chamber. That's my preference too. So, take a closer look. Focus, focus. Okay, maybe not. Oh, okay, see? I don't like that feeling there at all. A lot of people might find it acceptable. Me, no. It's going to be crimped just a little bit, and then this guy will just make it nice. And just a little tap. That's basically it. That's what I do. And that, let's see if I can show you that. See, now it's a little different. You see that? It's nice. See? Nice and pushed, nice and even. And that's what I look for. I didn't do a really, super crimp. Let me see if I can get a focus on that. No, I think it's not cooperating with me today. Oh well. But you get the picture. And that's it. This is the 6.5 Creedmoor, ready to go. One live round. Overview, BR2 primer, Hornady BRASS, ELD-MATCH 140 grain, .264 caliber, right? And IMR 4350 IMR, 41.5 grains. And that's basically it. Have a good day and have fun.